buttons. Okay, welcome to Gru, and thanks to the both of you for taking time out of your day and coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. I want to start out with Katherine. You write and direct your latest film, Lost Soulz, and what inspired you to want to write the film and make it?
Well, I was really inspired by working with Sauve on a short film we made together in 2018 that premiered in 2019. And I've honestly, ever since that short film, known I wanted to do a longer project with Sauve. And following that film, he moved out to Los Angeles and started his, or not started, but kind of continued his hip hop career there, and was touring and had some success in LA. And I thought it would be cool to make a feature where it was also set in that world of hip hop and sort of SoundCloud rap, and inspired from some aspects of Sauve's real life that I kind of imagined, and also that he had told me about. That was sort of the genesis of Lost Soulz, and then sort of making a film about found family and musicians expressing themselves and the beauty in that.
Oh, wow. And you knew from the start, though, that you wanted him to be the lead.
Yes. Yeah. I was like calling him during the pandemic in like lockdown, and just like asking him like, hey, you still down to make that feature film? And I was telling him about it even then, and sort of asking him questions, and he would always be like, yeah, like I'm interested, I'm down. And Swab, you can bring talk about what it was like when I would call you up randomly.
Yeah, it would be like sporadic calls, and it'd be like I would always answer every time because I have a different respect for her because she put me in my first film, short film, and I always wanted to do something like that. And like it was always kind of like a side thing, not a side thing, but it was always like, yeah, I got this thing going, like there's a movie that I want you to do it. You think you'll be interested? How do you have time to do it? And I'm like, I don't know my schedule, so I'm like, yeah, I think so, yeah. And because it was never like a definite thing. And then finally, it just was like, hey, I got a producer. We're about to shoot this. I want you to meet him, and at once I did that, then I started to feel like, oh, this is actually serious. Like, but yeah, it was just funny because she always called me and be like, do you think we should put this person in the movie, or what do you think about this? And like she would just always like read the script. Did you read the script? And she would update the script, and I'll just be like reading. I'll be like, well, maybe that. I'm like, maybe this not happen because like, or this. I'm like, but it was always like, it was just a work in progress, and each step just led to this moment, and it was just it's kind of eerie how it happened because it kind of I feel like it was always just like chirping on the side, like movie. And then I just started bragging about it. I'm about to be in a movie. And like some people didn't probably believe me when I would tell them I'm about to be in a movie. Like I'm about to be in a movie, and then here we are 2 years later after the pandemic, 3 years later.
Yeah, and you're here doing it now. You're in your second film.
Yeah.
Nice. And like you, besides doing films, like you make songs too, and you toured all over the world. You even toured with Juice WRLD too. And like how was all of that like doing your music, doing your touring?
It was actually kind of like a movie, like literally like how you would feel in a movie. Like it's like all this stuff happening so fast, and you'd never like. I always said it or told people like I'm gonna do this, but then when it actually started happening, it kind of felt like surreal. Like it almost didn't feel like, is this me? Is this real? Like, you know what I mean? And I remember the first time I ever heard Juice WRLD, he instantly became my favorite artist. And the same thing kind of happened with Mosey's. Like, I heard Mosey's song, and I felt like some strong intuition, definitely like some strong something energy there, like something about this person is special, or I feel like I know them. And then months later,
Yeah.
I ended up getting friends with them. And then Juice WRLD became one of my favorite artists. And then literally months later, I got on tour with him, and it was his first tour. And it's like, it's always like these little full circle moments. It's like kind
Oh
of
yeah.
weird, you know.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
And for for anyone who doesn't know about the film, can you tell us a little bit about who 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 you play in the film? You are the lead for the film, and
Yeah.
tell us like a little bit about the role you play.
So I play the character Soul Jackson, and we put Jackson as his last name and as Michael Jackson. You know, he's really
Okay, sweet.
Jackson in a way. You know what I mean? But he's a great character. He's a good person that had a hard life, and he's kind of like still trying to get through his problems. Uh, he's he's somebody with a lot of talent, a lot of charisma, but he's also more serious than, you know. Me and Soul, we have a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, he's a character. He's one of those guys that you probably wouldn't want to mess. Probably want to be good friends with him, or you know, he may pull a gun on you. Forrest, and he may pull a gun on you. He's like,
I should also say that the character of Soul is a very talented musician who has big dreams, but feels like he's been on his own in the world because he has a unconventional family and home situation, and he gets the opportunity of a lifetime to go on tour with a group of musicians in Texas. And it's about him sort of grappling with what his values are and what family and home means to him while he's on tour. He's kind of figuring those things out.
Oh wow. And and this is like you've done a bunch of shorts, but this is like your first full length film that you wrote and made. Like, how does that feel? Like this is your first film, and it's being shown in like film festivals, and it's getting a lot of good feedback from the crowd.
Yeah, it feels really good. I mean, it's honestly just kind of like what Sauve was saying. It's a surreal experience when you feel like you're realizing something that took, I don't know, several years in the making, when it was just an idea, or when it, you know, when I first met Sauve in 2016, I had no clue that we would make a feature film together, but you know, I don't know, we worked on that one project, and I kind of, like he was saying about Lil Mosey and Juice WRLD, feeling like a special connection. I think I saw something in Sauve that was really compelling to me, that I knew I was curious about, and just like felt drawn to it. And I reached out to him later to do a short film, in part because I was curious and drawn to something that I thought would register on screen as well. And then I don't know, it's crazy that many years later, 7 years later, we're talking about, this feature film that we just did. So it's it's cool.
Nice. And this is for both of you. Like, you both did the short, and now you're doing the full length film. So how was it like after all these years, like going back on set again, working with one another?
I can just speak from my experience. I think there was some familiarity there because of the short film, but at the same time, it was different because when I made that that short film, I was a student in film school and the stakes felt really low, and Sauve was even younger than he is now. I think he was like just out of high school or in high school. And I think things just get more high stakes and stressful the older you are in life, because you have to, you know, leave certain things behind to go on like a summer camp experience to make a movie. And it's asking a lot of the actors and the crew who join the journey. And so I think it's on the one hand, it's like you become really close and like a family, but it's also like any family, there are like the stresses of just being in close proximity with a group of people that you're not used to being around. And so it was it was kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Bob, you can speak to your experience.
You said what?
You can speak to how it was for you.
Like in comparison of the short film to the real movie, well, I feel like, okay, when I did the short film, I lived here in Austin.
Okay.
We got a B&B. We shot it in a whole week. So I feel like it was like a cool experience because it was like that whole week I was working straight on that. And then after that, you know, it was just like, okay, I get it. I started getting it. But once we did the real one, it was felt different because I had to fly from LA. I just had a baby. It was like, okay, I had to make a decision. I almost didn't do the movie because I just had a baby. And then it was like what she said. It's like more, it was higher stakes. It felt like it was more to lose, but I feel like we had to risk it to get where we are now. And I'm so grateful that I did. But yeah, I feel like the feature was a lot more like intense. Like, okay, you know, we have to get these scenes because we only have 3 hours of sunlight and this, and if the sun goes over here, we don't have this scene. It's not going to look the same. And it's like it was just so many, you know, little things. And, oh, Seven doesn't want to do his part right now because he didn't eat and this and this. Like, oh my gosh, it's like fuck this guy. You know, it's just so much more chaos. But I feel like it was like a good chaos.
Nice. And Suave, like a lot of the scenes you are in, like it definitely comes from the heart. Like it's a lot of you know, a lot of emotional stuff. And how do you get into like a mind frame for doing those kind of roles?
And I feel like each day Catherine would give me the script or like and tell me, and she'd be like, "Well, do it like this." So I'll do probably 3 takes, real emotional. She's like, "Actually, say it like it's funny," and I'll do 3 or 4 takes like it's fun, like I'm laughing, and then some I'll do some. She's like, "Do it like you're mad," and it's like I kind of just had to go off of whatever she felt was like the vibe for that moment. So I kind of just like. I was in this space of just like whatever she says, that's what I'm doing, and that's it. You feel what I mean? Or like if I had my own idea, like maybe it should be like this. I feel more natural saying it like this. She would just listen to me, and we just collaborate. Everybody in the set, we like on set, we all just try to collaborate and be like, how should we do it? Let's you know keep this energy that we can all feed off of to build on camera instead of feeling awkward. You know. So I feel like everybody helped me specifically get into my headspace by the environment that I was in each scene.
Oh wow, okay. And this is for you both too. Like how is there a certain scene, without without giving a lot away, of course, like is there a certain scene that you both had the most fun with?
I know for me, there was this one scene that happens sort of late into the film where Sauve is in line to get some food, and he meets this man who gives him some advice and encouragement. And that scene was really fun to watch play out. It had a lot of truth and authenticity in it, and the person who plays the character who gives him the wisdom did amazing. And I don't know, that was a really fun scene to watch.
Okay.
For me, fun. The most fun scene was the ball pit.
Okay.
When we were at the trampoline zone, or it's called, what is it called again?
It's called Urban Air.
Urban Air. Man, that was the most fun day because literally all we had to do was play around, and well, we did scripted scenes though, but a lot of it was like, y'all can go play, y'all can go drink slushies, go eat pizza, whatever.
Nice.
So it's like, hell yeah, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was my thing.
So Suave, while we were there, lost his ring that he's wearing. And it was in this ball pit with like thousands of these like balls. So we like all had to look for his ring for like an hour. Remember that, Suave?
We literally, it took so long, and then I literally had to shoot, and Captain's like, "You're gonna have to shoot without it." I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't, no, because if I don't find it, I'm gonna lose forever. And I literally kept stepping on. I was stepping, and I felt something super sharp, like what the heck? And I found it. I was like, God, I found so many people's lost items looking for my ring. I found 3 phones, a ring, a bracelet, a tampon.
And where did you wind up filming at? Like, where was like most of the film shot at?
The Urban Air was in El Paso, and we filmed most of the film in Austin and El Paso, and then a little bit in between in Marfa and sort of like along the road while we were driving from Austin to El Paso.
Oh wow, okay. And was there any cool, funny stories from the set? I mean, the one with the losing the ring was, I mean, that wasn't funny for Swan, but
There were so many funny things. I think something that probably was interesting that I never went through in my life was when we were in Marfa. It was like we were shooting, and Marfa's all deserty, and like people say, "Oh, sandstorm." Like when I hear sandstorm, I'm like, that's weak. Like that's weak compared to a tornado or a damn like hurricane. But I'm talking about right after we got done filming, it was a sandstorm, and I'm talking about this was like something you don't want to be in. And everybody, we were in the truck, and it's dark, and the car broke down, and Miko left his phone, and it was just so much, like there was so many things going on, like, but it was hilarious because while we're driving in the van in the sandstorm, everybody's screaming, ah, Jeepers Creepers, like we're just screaming, and just like, oh my God, it was just hilarious. But it was scary though.
That was a really good horror movie. I like that one.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That one was speaking of lost items, whether it was like lost phones or lost rings, it was like constantly like people complaining that they had lost something and us like urgently trying to find it with like desperation, honestly. Amazingly we found most of the lost items, but it was a pretty big deal on set, I feel like.
And now it's called Lost Soulz.
Yeah, right.
Now it's called Lost Soulz.
No wonder we're losing everything.
And what kind of songs do you both like? Like what's on your playlists?
Bob, you can go first.
Some Drake, some house music, some Fleetwood Mac, some, I listen to everything, so it's kind of like, I have a lot of things in there. I listen to myself. Mostly I listen to myself, really. All my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like
Nice.
Suave. I listen to eclectic music. I could be listening to Led Zeppelin or Fleetwood Mac, but like lately, especially if I'm exercising, I'll listen to a lot of kind of like top 40 artists like SZA, Beyonce, Drake, Post Malone, that kind of music.
Okay. And if you two were gonna do a karaoke song, what do you think you would pick?
Whoa.
Oh wow, that's such an interesting question. I would do Sauve because I feel like we could do this together. We could do Eminem Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
I literally only know the first like half of it. I'll just say
Exactly. So it'll be a collab.
I'd say Justin Bieber, Baby, featuring Ludacris.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like the whole cast we sung that song on the band, like baby, last word, like we've done. Yeah.
Oh, another song that the cast sang super well and we captured it on camera, but we didn't get the rights to the song was the song We Are Young by Fun.
Oh yeah.
And like they were just like, we are young, like the
Yeah,
whole
we did
time.
we did a lot of screaming songs. Like we were just like, yo, he lives in an ocean under the seas, and then everybody, the whole cast, SpongeBob SquarePants. We just screaming hella immature songs like.
Oh wait, also I have that video of you guys like singing Miley Cyrus's song The Climb, and
The Climb.
it's really funny because you have all these like rappers like singing to the top of their lungs The Climb.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's hilarious.
And, I always ask my guests this when they're on the show because I'm like a really big horror fan. Like, got my Pennywise hat on. What kind of horror films do you like watching?
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. I like the realistic ones,
Yeah.
like Evil Dead or like Paranormal Activity, Conjuring, like the movies that is like, oh, that maybe could actually happen. Like Blair Witch Project, you know, like you know what I mean. I like those type of scary movies where it's like, damn, if I was in that situation, it'd be crazy.
Right. Exactly.
I do like it, like those
Yeah.
type of horror movies as well. But I feel like those are more or less likely to happen. You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not scared.
I don't think that a demon clown could come around, right?
Let's hope not. Yeah. Right.
My favorite horror movie is the Tim Curry It. I really like the old It. That one was really great. But I also love like those classic 80s and 90s horror films. Everything from like the original Nightmare on Elm Street and the original Halloween to like, I don't know, the original versions of things that were like made in Japan, like Ringu or Dark Water. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny you said that because when The Grudge came out, when Ring came out, everyone thought that it was like a brand new movie. I'm like, no, it's a remake. I said it originated in Japan, and they're like, really?
That makes so much sense because she looked Japanese when she came out the. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yes.
Because that's literally like the look that she gave.
Definitely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And which app do you both love using the most or watching the most?
Oh, okay. I'm okay. This all just changed like last night, but Instagram is my go-to, but Threads, whoa. If you haven't been on Threads, have y'all used Threads? Threads.
Not yet.
I actually just joined like about 2 hours ago. I finally just joined it because I see everybody is on it now. So I'm like, all right, if I put my show on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Threads goes crazy. I like it. That's
my favorite is just YouTube. I feel like I always use YouTube.
I like YouTube.
There you go.
YouTube wins. I use YouTube more than any of those apps.
Yeah.
Definitely. And lastly is your film Lost Soulz. Like, when will it be available for fans to watch?
Well, it's going to be playing on the festival circuit throughout the rest of the year. And we're in talks right now with some distributors. So I can't say like exactly when, but it'll definitely be out on both theatrically and on VOD and streaming eventually. Just can't say yet when or when yet.
Unless you want to hear me, I got the bootleg. I got the bootleg. I was recording when I was camcording it in the movie theater at Tribeca. Like, well, look, if you got
He's
$60,
not lying. He's not lying.
if you got $60, I got you. I'm like,
And, where can fans follow you both at?
Sauve Seidel, SAUVESIDLE, on majority of every social media, except for Twitter. My Twitter is DESAUVE. Damn, I just told them my real name.
And for me, I'm on Instagram as Kprops. So it's at KPROPZ.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking time out and coming on the show and doing it. And Sauve, I just want to ask you like one last question. Is like, I know you do your songs. Is there a latest song that you have out or coming out?
Well, I have a tape out that's out right now called La La Land, that people can go listen to right now. But I'm gonna drop the deluxe with like 10 new songs in next week, so be on the lookout for that. But it may be a different name. I may change the name. So
Okay. Awesome. Well, again, thank you both for coming on, and have a really great weekend.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Now it's time to get back in the studio.
Right, exactly.